Buongiorno classe! Come state? Sto molto bene, grazie. Today we're going to talk about l'ora, or the time, nella classe di italiano. In Italiano, the way that we ask what time is it is che ora è. Now, we could also say che ore sono. So 2 ways to say what time is it. Really, it's like asking what's the hour, more or less. Of course, we'll start with some AM and PM expressions. So in English, we have expressions like morning, afternoon, evening, and nighttime. Now, we, of course, have the same thing in Italiano, in Italian, for morning, afternoon, night, and, well, evening. Just like in Inglese, we're going to add these expressions to the end of the time. So to express AM, we say di mattina or del mattino. Just like we do in Inglese, we would say 7:10 a.m. It's 7:10 in the morning. In Italiano, sono le 7:10 di mattina, or sono le 7:10 del mattino. To express afternoon, we use the term del pomeriggio, which means, of course, in the afternoon. We use this for more or less between noon and 5 o'clock in the evening. So, for example, sono le 2:20 del pomeriggio. It is 1:40 in the afternoon. Or we could say è l'1:40 or l'1:20, è 2:20 del pomeriggio. Now here for PM, we also have sera and notte. Evening is typically from 5 p.m. to bedtime, and then notte we typically use when we go to bed only. So for example, sono le 9:30 or 30 di sera. Now, in Italia, in Europa, in Italy, or in Europe, it is a little bit later there, which is normal for European culture, in comparison to here negli Stati in the US. There have been many times where I'm still sitting at a ristorante in Europa, in Europe, and getting maybe the first or second course alle 9:30 at 9:30 at night, which I consider night, but really, it's like my bedtime. Anyway, so to give the hour in Italiano, we say sono le, and then the hour. So for example, 3 o'clock, sono le 3. 9 o'clock, sono le 9. 5 o'clock, sono le 5. If we wanted to say 4 o'clock, for example, sono le 4. Of course, it's a little bit of a throwback to nostri numeri, our numbers. So let's do a little bit of pratica here. We have 4 examples of AM and PM expressions. I gave you the expressions and also sono le at the top here. Right? So how would we say 10 o'clock AM? Now we'll start out with sono le. We know it's AM, which means it has to be di mattina or del mattino. So if you're thinking, sono le 10 di mattina or sono le 10 del mattino. Perfetto, you are correct. 3 o'clock p.m. Now here we have afternoon time. So, che ore sono? What time is it? If you're thinking sono le 3 di pomeriggio, perfetto, you are correct. 6 o'clock in the evening. Che ore sono? What time is it? Sono le 6 di sera in the evening. Now, 11 o'clock is way past my bedtime, so we'll say 11 o'clock at night. Che ore sono? Sono le 11 di notte. Perfetto. Andiamo avanti. There are a couple of exceptions to this sono le, right? We've said sono le 2, sono le 9. We do not say sono le 1. It's actually è l'una. Now, here are a couple of things to keep in mind. One, è l'una means it is 1 o'clock. Una, 1, is a singular number, which is why we use is, grammatically speaking. Go check out one of my other videos for singular and plural. Now, We also have the same thing for mezzogiorno, literally middle of the day. Hello, afternoon. And then mezzanotte, middle of the notte means night. Perfecto. We use e. Now, the other fun fact here about Luna, you'll notice L apostrofo, it's a throwback to nostri articoli, our articles. Here it's actually really importante we have that L apostrofo, because if we don't, believe it or not, it means moon in Italiano. Luna. Anyway, so importante quando scriviamo, it is important when we're writing. To express minutes past the hour, like 3:05, 7:12, 11:20, the example there that you see, sono le hour e minute. So for example, 11:20, sono le 11:20. So it's the same thing in English. It is 11:20. We add the word and in Italiano. So how would we do 3:05? If you're thinking, sono le 3:05. Perfecto. 7:12, again, throwback to numeri. Sono le 7:12. Next up, we're going to talk about quarter past the hour. Here in English, we use 15 is considered quarter past. I know growing up, miei genitori, my parents, parenti would always say, oh yeah, it's 2:15 or it's 3:15. And I'd be like, what the heck is quarter past? Think about an orologio, think about a clock. It's actually divided into 4 corners or quadrants, right? 1 quarter is 15 minuti, 15 minutes. So anyway, fun fact, that boy for you guys. To express quarter past the hour, we say one of 2 things. Sono le hour, whichever the numero is, e un quarto, so it's 2 and a quarter, for example. Or sono le hour e 15, so it's the hour and 15. You could say sono le 2 e un quarto, sono le 2 e 15, per esempio. So for these examples here, 3:15. 2 ways to say the time. You will be understood regardless of come lo dici, however you say it. Che ore sono? What time is it? Sono le 3:15 or sono le 3:15. 5:15? Sono le 5:15 or sono le 5:15. So a little bit of pratica here, adding minutes to expressions. 8:05, 3:10, and 3:15 p.m. Che ore sono? 8:05, in italiano, sono le 8:05 di mattina. 3:10 p.m. Che ore sono? Sono le 3:10 di pomeriggio or del pomeriggio. 6:15 p.m. Che ore sono? Sono le 6:15 di sera or sono le 6:15 di sera. How are we doing so far? Bene, molto bene, hopefully. Speriamo, dite incrocite, fingers crossed. To express half past the hour, here it's like 11:30, 12:30, 1:30, as you can see. Sono le hour e mezzo. Mezzo means half. Think about our throwback to mezzogiorno or mezzanotte, middle of the day, middle of the night. You could, of course, say sono le hour e 30, right? 1:30 you already see. E l'una e mezzo or e l'una e 30. 2:30, here we have to use sono le. How would we say it? Che ore sono? If you're thinking, sono le 2:30 or sono le 2:30, perfecto, you are correct. So a little bit of pratica here with half times. Remember, mezzo or 30 are your key words. 7:30 a.m. Che ore sono? Sono le 7:30 di mattina. You could also say 7:30. 2:30 p.m. Che ore sono? Sono le 2:30 di pomeriggio. 6:30 p.m. Che ore sono? Sono le 6:30 di sera. So now we're going to move on to the other half of the clock. So far, we've done pretty much where 12 to 6, 12 to 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now let's talk about after the 30s. So we're saying like 6:35, 6:45, quarter of 7, for example. To express minutes before the next hour, we start with the hour that's approaching. Holy smokes, a little bit of matematica, mathematics coming your way. And then we subtract the number of minutes to that hour using meno. Meno means minus. So for example, sono le, next hour, minus the number of minutes. This sounds way more complicated than it really is. But 3:55, 5:50, and 10:40 are our examples. 3:55, sono le, the next hour is quattro, meno minus cinque. So it's 5 of 4. This is really how we say the time. You could say sono le 3:55, 3:55. Everyone will understand you. 5:50. Now, the approaching hour is 6, so we want to say sono le 6 meno minus 10 minutes until 6 o'clock. So sono le 6 meno 10 or sono le 6:50. Next one, 10:40. The approaching hour is 11 meno minus 20. So it would sound like sono le 11 meno 20 or sono le 10:40. A little bit of pratica here. 7:55 a.m., 2:50 p.m., 6:40 p.m. So again, remember the approaching hour. Numero uno, che ore sono? What time is it? The approaching hour is 8 minus 5. Sono le 8 meno 5 di mattina. Che ore sono? What time is 2:50 p.m.? Sono le, think about it, 3 meno 10 di pomeriggio. Next one, 6:40. So it is 20 of 7. That's what we want to say. Sono le 7 meno 20 di sera. Hopefully dancing thumbs, molto bene, molto facile. We continue going on. I know this can be a little confusing, especially in English. We just say 6:40. We don't say 20 of. Some of us do. To express quarter of, this is where you can see all of these examples end in 45. We're talking about this orologio into quadrants, right? 4s, like a pizza pie. Here we have sono le, again, a little bit of matematica. Sono le, the next hour, meno un quarto, minus a quarter. So sono le 3 meno un quarto, or you could say sono le 2:45. You can say 2:45. These are due opzioni, 2 options. One, of course, with the map to push yourselves for a little bit of an added struggle challenge. 5:45, the approaching hour is 6. So we want to say sono le 6 meno un quarto or sono le 5:45. Approaching hour for 3:45 is 4. Sono le 4 meno un quarta, say that 3 times fast, or sono le 3:45. Here we have a little bit of a pratica section. Che ore sono? We start out with sono le, and I didn't give you AM or PM here. Sono le 5:10. Next one. Che ore sono? Sono le 7:30 di mattina or sono le 7:30 del mattino. 8:45 p.m. This one doesn't pop up with an answer. So this is a little bit of math, right? It's 8:45, or you could say 8:45. Sono le 9 meno un quarto di sera or sono le 8:45 di sera. 2:50 p.m. 2:50 p.m. So again, it's that approaching hour. Sono le 3 meno 10 del pomeriggio or sono le 2:50 del pomeriggio. 12:55, this is tricky. Che ore sono? Or che ore è? Che ore? Here we have luna, it's the exception. Okay, so here we have a luna meno 5. It is 1 minus 5, it's 5 of 1. Or sono le 12:55. 8:30 a.m. Sono le 8:30 di mattina, or del mattino. Che ore sono? What time is it? È l'1:15 or è l'1:15 del pomeriggio. 10:20 p.m. Che ore sono? Sono le 10:20 di sera or di notte. Some people are just going out at 10:20, while others, like me, buonanotte, good night. So I hope that we've understood a little bit better l'ora, the time in Italiano, which of course is useful for so many reasons. Reservations, of course, telling what time we have to be someplace, maybe for an appuntamento, for an appointment. Ottimo lavoro. Nice job. Ciao.